What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day, and if you're new to the channel and want to hit the subscribe button too, that would be awesome. I think this is suspension part 2, maybe 3. I forgot the last vlog I put out, but to keep me up to date and to anybody new watching the video, we have again all new arms on the Prelude, new uppers with ball joints, new lowers with new bushings, the rack and pinion, inner and outer tie rod, new axles, new sway bar, new end links. I'm still waiting on my front traction bar from ESP. I ordered back in 2019, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. We have the spindles. Okay, yeah, now I remember we did the spindles. We painted them this beautiful paint on black, and then we hit it with the glitter clear coat there. As you can see, a lot of people like this, so again, thank you for the positive feedback. And then we also popped in new ball joints I got from Germany. This upcoming Monday, Memorial Day, I'm going to be dropping off these spindles to get the old hubs and wheel bearings pressed out, and we'll be pressing in new wheel bearings and hubs. I also just got an update email from Energy Suspension. My polyurethane rear suspension bushings have shipped. I ordered the rear lower and the trailing arm bushings. I will leave a link in the description below where you can purchase those. So those will be coming, those will be here this upcoming week. Then I thought to myself, since I'm already refreshing the whole front end, I might as well refresh the whole rear end. So that's what we have to do. So in this video, I will be removing the rear trailing arms, the rear lower arms. As you saw in the first video, we put in the Godspeed Projects rear upper adjustable control arms. In the back here, I have the Megan Racing toe arms. I have the ST rear sway bar that's upgraded. I believe it's a 25mm diameter, as well as new end links. So we have to, it's kind of a pain in the ass, pop off the rear spindle here. So again, we have to take off the rear lower. There's a bolt in there. Trailing arm, already got a bolt out here. It was a 17mm. We have to finesse our way in there and take out the bolt holding the bushing in, which is corroded. Then, fun stuff, I have to pop out the rear lower ball joint, which I also ordered a new one from Germany. Pop this out and press it out, and then when we get the new ones, press that back in. Same thing I did with the front spindles. I'm going to wire brush the spindle here to pretty much bare metal or make it clean, as well as the rear lower. Hit it with the black spray paint and then hit it with the glitter clear coat. I also did order new rear wheel bearings as well as hubs. They think they come already pressed in. Got them off of 1A Auto again. Was really impressed with their quality of parts and their customer service. I'll also leave a link in the description below where you can buy that. So I will have to make another appointment to get the current wheel bearing and hubs pressed out, press the new ones in. We'll press in the new polyurethane arm bushings, brand new ball joint, paint these spindles, lower control arms, put everything back in, and the suspension will be 100% completed. June 4th, which is a Friday, is when VC said my coilovers will be shipping out, so incredibly stoked on that. To those who don't know, I got some custom VC coilovers made. I went with their BR system, I went with their extreme low kit, and I went with their Swift Spring upgrade. I went with 16K up front and 14K in the rear, and they are being custom valved for the high spring rate. So these should ride pretty nice, really stiff. I'm pretty stoked. I'm going to also be refinishing the R33 GTR wheels. These are 17x9 plus 30, but if anybody is interested in these locally in Arizona, let me know. I will be more than happy to sell them because I got some wheels I'm about to build for the Skyline chilling out here, and I'll be swapping the current wheels on the Skyline onto the Prelude. So our first order of business is removing the trailing arm You have 3 points you need to release. You got the bracket holding the trailing arm, which you can see there's one bolt there and then one bolt in front. Those are both going to be 17 millimeters. Once you get that bracket out, you can take out the bolt that's holding it up to the bushing, and then this bolt here was also a 17 millimeter. Okay, so we have our trailer arm bracket bolts removed, as you can see there. Now go ahead and take out the brackets holding the e-brake wire or cable. We got one here, it's going to be a 12, and then we have one over here that's also going to be a 12. So if your Prelude is from Florida and California like mine is, and it is old, you'll know, you can see I snapped the bolt right clean off the thread. You can see right there. It's all good though, so I'm assuming the same thing's gonna happen on the other side, but nothing some cable ties can't fix. So here we have the passenger side rear trailing arm out, indication up, so when you install it you know which way is up and down. Pretty crusty looking, but it's actually just a bunch of dirt. This e-brake bracket bolt corresponded with or cooperated with me, and then here's the one that snapped off. Not in bad shape, but the bushing is pretty crusty. But again, we got the Energy Suspension Polyurethane coming in this upcoming week. So I will have to press out this stock bushing. I might burn it out, press it out. I'll see which way is the easiest for me. But nonetheless, we'll go ahead and clean the bracket here and the arm itself with the pressure washer. Probably tomorrow. I will go ahead and sand it all down with 600 grit sandpaper, hit it with 3 coats of black spray paint, and then hit it with the glitter clear. Press out the bushing, and then once the Energy Suspension bushing comes in, I'll go ahead and press that in. That's generally the uninstallment of the trailing arm. It is a new day. I'm having the hardest time removing the rear lower control arms. Last clip you saw, we got the rear trailing arm and bracket removed, which is pretty easy. But now I'm trying to free the bolt that connects the rear lower to the rear subframe, and it is literally frozen, rusted, just stuck on there. It's been sitting in PB Blaster penetrating oil for about 2 days now. I've been hitting it in the morning when I got home from work, and then before I went to bed, lightly hitting it with a hammer to shock all the rust off, and I've hit it with my 1200 foot-pound impact wrench, and it is not even budging, so that poses a big problem. But everything else was easy to take out. On a good note though, I just finished buttoning up the whole front suspension yesterday. I took my front spindles to Eaton Customs. They pressed out the old hub and wheel bearing and pressed in the new wheel bearing and hubs. Honestly, the job took a good hour and a half. The wheel bearing was frozen inside the spindle, so we had to like chisel it out. The circlip was the hardest thing. That was literally rusted on to the inside of the spindle, so a good hour and a half, but we managed to get it done with a lot of impact tools and a lot of PB Blaster. So everything is fresh, just again got everything bolted up, torqued down to spec. Just need to put cotter pins in the upper and the outer tie rod. I did put in the new MPC drop forks. Clearance so far is pretty good on the passenger side, as you can see there. And then we got the driver's side all nice and buttoned up, everything torqued down to spec. Again, just need new cotter pins. But unfortunately on this side, I don't know if it's because the spindles are not, I would say, compressed, but I'm having a lot of rubbing issue on the inside of this fork on the driver's side. I don't know if it's the positioning of the steering wheel or just because, again, the whole assembly is not compressed, but we got some rubbing going on here. But once I get my coils in, I'm sure that'll free up a lot of space. On another good note, my Energy Suspension poly bushings came in from my left here, here's the part number, is for the rear upper and lower set of arms. This bushing here goes where that stuck bolt is. There are 2 of these, passenger and driver side. And then there are 4 of these which go onto the bracket that holds up the rear upper control arm. To my right here, another part number there. We have this beefy poly bushing. This is the trailing arm bushing, which needs to be pressed out with a mechanical press. I don't want to deal with that, honestly. And then this goes onto the rear lower arm itself. So I'm thinking once I get the coils in and my fitment dialed in, it's obviously going to be needing a nice alignment from Eaton Customs. So I think I'm just gonna remove the driver's side arm out, trailing arm out, clean it, paint it, put it back in, and just send the whole car for the alignment and rear suspension refresh. I'll have them press in all the bushings from the trailing arm and the rear lower arms. Also put in the new ball joint, and my new rear hubs and wheel bearings should be here this weekend as well. And the coilover should be here also Friday. So if all goes according to plan and I can't remove this bolt, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Save me time. I know it's more content I can push out, but rather not deal with the headache. So I just tried those bolts again for a good minute, and I feel like the head of the bolt is about to snap off. So I'm just going to put the rear trailing arms back in after I clean and paint them, call it a day, wait till the coilovers come in, put those in, dial the fitment, and send the car to Eaton Customs for the alignment and the rear polyurethane bushing service. So I'm going to cut the video here. I try to do as much as I possibly can by myself before sending it to a shop, but sometimes you just have to go to the shop because having a lift helps out tremendously, and they have much more knowledge than I do. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for the continuous support, and thank you all again for the positive feedback on the Prelude and the Skyline. It means the world to me. If you're new to the channel and want to hit the subscribe button too, that'd be awesome. And remember, aim high, drive low. We'll catch you next video. Take care.